Good morning from the West Coast, everyone. Attorney Mitch Jackson from Jackson and Wilson coming live to you with and on a topic that I think a lot of small and medium-sized business owners are going to want to pay attention to. It's something that a friend of mine and I were talking about yesterday, and I thought I'd just go live and share my thoughts with you. Once again, Mitch Jackson, the streaming lawyer. Today's topic is going to be COVID-19 liability releases, waivers, and hold harmless agreements. Easy for me to say, even harder to create and prepare pursuant to your state laws. So that's what I'm going to go through today, you guys, is we're going to talk about things that every single small business owner probably should think about before opening up their doors for business. What we're seeing across the country right now is we're seeing a majority of states slowly start to open up and allow companies and businesses to open their doors, right, to customers and clients again. If you're an essential business, you've been open, you know what I'm talking about. But what we're going to be seeing happening is people from across the country opening up their front doors and letting customers come into the front doors. So I want to just share some things with you that you might want to pay attention to if you're a small business owner. Also, I have a special treat. In about 15 minutes, we're actually going to go live with a local small business that opened up their doors today and who is taking precautions with respect to COVID-19 infection issues. So hopefully they'll be joining us at about 15 minutes after the hour. So that should be good. Before I dive too far into the show and share what you may want to think about when it comes to hold harmless agreements, when it comes to waivers and releases, different approaches that you may want to take into consideration, I will be doing live Q&A, you guys. So ask your questions in the comments. You know, I do want to point out that while I am a California lawyer, there is no legal advice being given during this live video or recorded broadcast. All I'm doing is sharing some legal concepts with you, sharing some ideas, hopefully planting some seeds so that when you do open your doors, you'll have given some thought to different things that will help protect your customers and help protect you when it comes to COVID-19 virus infection claims. We don't want to see any of those brought against you. So the first thing is no legal advice is being given. I am sharing 34 years of experience with you guys, and I know what I'm talking about, but if you need a good lawyer, and at the end of the show, I will be sharing with you some resources, okay, on how to find a good lawyer in your state because the law is different in each state. And I'll also be sharing with you resources where you can create these forms online, or if you're a lawyer watching today's show, some resources that will help you as a lawyer create good hold harmless waiver and releases for your clients and for those clients of yours that are opening up their companies for business. So let me first just pop over to the comments. It's good to see everybody. Wow, we've already got a lot of comments. We are broadcasting live, you guys, to Facebook. If just go to my Streaming Lawyer Facebook group, Facebook page, if you guys want to ask questions, or you can ask questions in the comments. They'll be pushed to me on YouTube, Periscope, Twitter, LinkedIn, and various Facebook groups and Facebook pages. Okay, so here's what I'd like to do. Before we jump in too far about written documents, written waivers, written releases, there is a concept that I want to talk to you guys about, and that is before opening up your doors, do you have business liability insurance? Let's say you're a local donut shop. Let's say you're a local hair salon. Let's say you're a local shop that provides, tires and automotive supplies. My first question to you is, do you have liability insurance? Okay, that's number one. And if you have liability insurance, you need to reach out to your agent and determine whether or not the business liability insurance will cover you if a customer comes in and 6 months from now, 3 months from now, and says, listen, I contracted the COVID-19, the coronavirus, while I was in here in your store interacting with your employees. I'm bringing a claim against you for my medical bills, for my damages. There are all types of challenges with those types of claims, and I'm not taking a position as to whether or not those claims should or should not be brought. It's a factual distinction with each and every case. It just depends on the circumstances. It depends on what state you're in. But ask your business liability agent, insurance agent, whether or not you're covered for coronavirus claims. And if you're not, can you add a rider onto your liability policy? That's the first thing that you may want to take into consideration. Number two, I want you to make sure that you're complying with all state and federal health and safety requirements. What are you supposed to do in your business, in your place of service, when it comes to interacting with customers, when it comes to sanitizing the location, whatever it might be? Follow health and safety requirements, right? Wash your hands, keep a safe distance between you and your customers. Whatever your industry, whatever your occupation is, there are different requirements, and just make sure that you're complying with your local and state, and then if it's applicable, federal law as to what you do for a living, your occupation, your profession, and eliminate that liability risk. If you're not following state and federal, local, and safety guidelines and regulations, you might be exposing yourself up for litigation, right? So we don't want to have that happen. The next thing is I want to talk a little bit about, and really it is the document, the talking point of today, liability releases, waivers, and hold harmless agreements. Okay, how can we use these in our small to medium-sized businesses to help protect us from having a finger pointed at us for maybe alleging that we've given a customer or a client the coronavirus, resulting in medical bills, resulting in illness, resulting in death, right? And as a lawyer, we've been an essential business. We've been open. And it's always bothered me when a client walks through the front door, what can we do to protect us if that client wrongfully suggests that we somehow infected he or his family members with the coronavirus. What we did is we just decided to go remote. Everyone's working from home. And I think it's really helped eliminate a lot of problems. But I'm going to share some tips also for lawyers, accountants, and physicians on how you can include liability releases, waivers, and hold harmless agreements in your documents and in your retainer agreements. And I'm also going to share links with you at the end of the show to help you do all of this. Once again, you guys, keep these questions coming in. I do appreciate it. My name is Mitch Jackson. I am the streaming lawyer. You can connect with me over at streaming.lawyer. But let's get started. Hold harmless agreements. Okay, what are they? Hold harmless agreements, releases, waivers of liability, they can all be included in a single document. The law is different in each state as to whether or not these documents will prevent someone from bringing a claim against you. In this case, bringing a claim for a coronavirus infection. They come into your shop, they claim that somebody touched them, your employee had the virus, and now that your employees transmitted that virus to the customer. What are the customers and remedies? Well, in many states, and each state's different, you can create a document where you have your customer release you or your business from any and all liability. It's a waiver. It's a hold harmless agreement, okay? And once again, the validity of these documents depends on how they're written. It depends on what state you're in. It depends on what job or occupation you're involved in. And it does vary. Sometimes even the content in these documents, the font size that's laid out in these documents is mandated by state law. So what you want to do is you want to make sure you check with a qualified lawyer in your state. And I'm going to give you a link to help you find some good lawyers if you need some. I'm here in California, and I don't do these documents, nor am I interested. I'm not selling you guys anything. I'm a trial lawyer. I just want to share this concept, this approach with you, because I think it will help reduce your liability as a business owner reopening the doors, okay? One of the other limitations of a hold harmless waiver and liability exclusion documents is public policy. It depends on what the public policy is. They balance the public policy with your ability to contract away liability. And so when you're looking at using these documents, check with a lawyer in your state to make sure that the document you're using, whether you're using the resources that I'm talking about at the end of today's show, or you're creating these, having a lawyer create these resources for you, make sure that these documents comply with your state law. Once again, let me just say for the last time, I'm not giving any legal advice. This is a disclaimer. I'm a California lawyer, only licensed to practice law in California. Christine, I do see you, and I will be bringing you in. So just sit tight in just a second. And I also just wanted to point out that the law is different in each state. And so check with a lawyer in your state if you have any questions. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I've got a friend of mine, Christine Wood, who's with the Barberhood in Laguna Hills, and I'm going to bring Christine in. They actually did open up their doors today, and she is here to say hi and show us what's going on. How you doing, Christine?
I'm good, Mitch. How are you?
We're doing fantastic. You look fantastic, and I know there's a smile underneath that mask, which is always a good thing. I think you're glad that you've got the doors open, right?
Yeah, we are. It's been really stressful, but we feel like, we're ready and we're taking every possible precaution. And here we go.
I know.
A whole new world of business.
I know. It's a whole new world for all of us. And I wish you much success in reopening the Barberhood, which I've been down to you guys. I've gotten my haircut there. It's a great environment. Can you walk us through? I see there's a sign behind you, Christine, on the door. Walk us through what your shop. What's going on?
Yeah, so that's just warning. Whoops, I lost you there for a minute. So we just have to, face masks required. We put in, do not enter if you have any of these symptoms. And then this is what you and I talked about yesterday. I don't know if you can see that.
We can.
There we go. This is just saying that by entering the facility, you accept the risk involved with the transmission of COVID-19.
And we are going to talk.
Our employees sign the same thing.
Oh, you did? Okay. And we are going to talk a little bit about posting signs later on in the show. I don't want to put you on the spot, and I don't know if you're expecting to do this, but if you want to walk us through real quick and show us the Barberhood, I'd love to share it with the world, or if you want to sit tight and you tell me.
I can show you. I can kind of show you from here.
There you go. Look at that. I love that. So you've got customers in there getting their haircut, which everyone needs a good haircut. And it looks like they're like 10, 12 feet apart.
Well, yeah, they are. And we have a mask required the entire cut. We're 95 masks to your face, and we go around the ear. That's how we're managing to cut the hair. Everything is completely sterilized and sanitized between every client. We have like a 15-minute window between clients where we completely sanitize everything. We're educated in sanitation and infection control, just being barbers, and state board certified. So we have an education in that as well. So that's why we felt like rather than put butcher paper up and allow people in the back door, we wanted to lead by example and show how we believe we can safely still do our job and keep our community safe.
Oh, I love that.
Don't in a high risk category. We don't recommend you get your hair at this time, but there's a lot of essential business people that are doing Zoom meetings or meeting face to face with people, and they do have a need to be groomed.
I noticed, first of all, I agree. And I have Lisa, who's helped me out just a little bit, right? I was getting pretty crazy there for a while, pulled a Nick Nolte out after my arrest kind of look. But what I want to point out is I saw some pictures that you posted on Facebook, and I'm going to be sharing your Facebook link and videos with my audience once we're done, Christine. But I noticed you guys sanitizing the facility, putting a lot of time and effort into getting things safe and sound before opening up your doors. So I commend you for doing that. And I also know you're super busy right now, so I don't want to take up too much of your time. But on behalf of everyone joining us, thank you for swinging by, Christine. I really appreciate it. Christine Wood of the Barberhood in Laguna Hills. Thanks, kiddo.
Take
All right.
care, be safe, and we appreciate your support.
You too. Be safe. Bye-bye. So that's real life right there, folks. They actually, and I'll share their links in the comments below, have really gone out of the way to make sure they're sharing a safe environment for their devoted customers. Okay. And Christine, thank you once again for joining us live and showing us, day one of opening up your doors here in Laguna Hills, California at the Barberhood. I appreciate you stopping by. Isn't this technology great, you guys? So let's talk about what you just saw and what's next in my discussion. And that is when we're using hold harmless agreements, waivers, and liability releases, a couple of things you may want to think about is including a full and complete liability waiver, a notice on the front door of your business, okay? Or maybe on a stand, a free stand out on the sidewalk, or when someone walks into your lobby, maybe some type of stand letting people know and reminding them of the risk associated with COVID-19. And despite your best efforts, there is going to be a risk, and that they're proceeding with your services, at their own risk. I think the more notices, the better. One of the things we talked about was when you're signing in customers, whether you're doing it in your facility or online, they're booking an appointment online and then coming in, you might want to think about including a hold harmless liability release and waiver in those documents, and have your client sign those documents. I'm going to show you at the end of the show how you can get these documents created, who you can reach out to. And once again, remind everyone, the law is different in each state. So you want to make sure that the documents you use are state specific and also apply to your industry. Not all industries can use these types of written documents. When I say all industries, not all occupations, not all professions. I also think that lawyers and doctors and CPAs, when you guys are meeting with new clients and new patients, there isn't any reason why you can't include, and this is subject to state bar rules and your own rules of professional responsibility, but I would think you could sit down with a lawyer and draft a hold harmless agreement, a waiver and release, and incorporate it into your retainer agreement, or maybe create a separate document. So if a client did want to come in with and meet with you instead of meeting with you over a Zoom, which is all we're doing right now, I have lost clients, new clients, because I refuse to sit in the same room with them right now. It's just not safe. And in my opinion, and this is as of last week, not this week, but what I'm getting at is you can incorporate these waivers, these hold harmless agreements into your retainer agreements, okay? And as long as you comply with state law and you're dealing at arm's length, that might be some additional protection to help avoid coronavirus claims, infection-related claims being brought against you. Now, once again, this is not an employer-employee type of live video, at least not today. I'll get to everyone's questions in a few minutes. So employer-employee rights require a different focus, different labor laws, different duties and responsibilities, oftentimes flowing both ways. This has to do with the small business owner interacting with his or her customers, okay, his or her clients. And so using hold harmless agreements, okay, talking about, as we started the show off, with business liability coverage, and does that coverage provide coverage to you for a coronavirus infection claim? Taking into consideration your local, state, and federal health and safety requirements, okay? And then combining all of that, all of those safety protocols, all of those insurance liability considerations with a properly written hold harmless agreement, liability waiver agreement, release type of agreement, and often it's one agreement that I'm talking about. You can maximize the chances of not getting dragged into a long, involved lawsuit or litigation or claim, because you'll have these agreements which will help your lawyer get the case dismissed against you. And once again, each state is different. Now, let me share with you some of the resources that I promised you I would share. And let me just look at some of the questions here. So Elisa Shapiro, great question. Let me bring that up real quick. I kind of covered this, Alicia, but for retail stores and restaurants, which is really the reason that I wanted to do this live show, I think everything I just mentioned is especially applicable to those types of industries. Okay, small business owners who have retail outlets, a sign on the door, a self-standing warning or sign out in front of the business. When you walk into the lobby, maybe a sign there, maybe the receptionist, or when you sign in, there's a waiver that you can sign. I think it's really important that the more notice a small business owner gives to the general consumer, the better protected they are, along with the other things we talked about. Also, keep in mind that a lot of us are devoted customers to the small businesses in town. So even though you have these signs up, and I think some of the small businesses I've talked to say, well, it's going to scare off customers. I don't necessarily think that's the case. Okay, I know where I'm going to go to get my haircut. Okay, I'm going to go down to the Barber Hood in Laguna Hills, whether they have a sign or not. When I personally feel it's safe for me to do that, and everybody has to make that decision on their own. Having said that, a sign that's up on the door isn't going to keep me from walking in through the front door. And so I think, yes, the more signage, the more warnings, the more documentation you have, the better it is for everybody involved. Patricia Barboni, it is good to see you. I hope you're safe and sound, and thanks for swinging by. I love what you're posting on Twitter and Facebook. You're one of the most fascinating human beings on the planet. I hope you're staying safe and keep sharing interesting experiences. Jerry Oginski, it's good to see you from the East Coast, one of the original lawyer video experts. Always good to see you, my friend. And frankly, I'm not going to have time to be able to go through everything here. I'm looking at the most recent comments. Eric Anderson out of the Inland Empire. It's good to see you, Eric. So thanks for stopping by. All right, you guys. So here's what you need to do. If you're a lawyer and you're interested in creating, for your clients, hold harmless agreements, waivers, and releases, or a combination of the above, a really cool company, let me just show you real quick, that may help you do this, and it's a cloud-based company, Documate at documate.org. And it's an automated cloud-based system. I'm not affiliated with the company in any way. I'm not a brand ambassador for the company. I'm a brand ambassador for a lot of companies, you guys. If you go to streaming.lawyer/brands, you'll see companies that I am involved with. But this is a new company. And when I say new company, within the last couple of years, I believe, but it allows you as a lawyer, and I probably a business owner also, to create documents in the cloud. And check it out. I think for lawyers, this is a product that will help you create these documents in a way where you're providing your clients with a consistent high level of document that you generate in-house, but it's something that using the cloud with their input through the cloud, you can create personalized hold harmless waiver and releases. So check that out. For you small business owners that are looking to do this yourself, and I'm going to share a couple of resources to help you do this yourself. And also, if you need a lawyer in your state, I'm going to share a resource that will help you find a good lawyer in your state. LegalZoom.com is an option. You can get waivers and releases done at LegalZoom.com. You can have lawyers step in and help review the selections that you're making. Oftentimes with online forms, what you end up with is only as good as the options and selections you make. So be careful. The best way to do this is, I think, is to have a lawyer help you with your forms. Another service out there that small business owners can use is rocketlawyer.com. Once again, be careful with putting too much trust into the final product, because garbage in, garbage out. If you're not inputting the right data, the right information, then that document's not going to work for you. I would suggest you see a lawyer before you do anything. And let me come back. For those of you in California, if you need a good lawyer to help you with all of this, it's not going to be me. I'm a litigator. I'm a trial lawyer. I don't like doing this kind of paperwork, but I can refer you to friends of mine in California who are great transactional attorneys that can put together a document for you that's a hold harmless, settlement release, general liability release, and waiver of liability that will work for you. So just reach out to me at streaming.lawyer. If you're someplace else, another solution is Legal Shield. Legal Shield is an inexpensive monthly program that allows you to hire and be part and have a lawyer in every state. So if you're doing business online and you have a question for a New York lawyer or a Texas attorney or a California lawyer, if you need your legal questions answered, if you need them to prepare this document for you, what you do is go to mitchjackson.solutions, check out what different business Legal Shield plans are available, and find one that's right for you, and then use that lawyer, use that law firm to help create these documents for you. I think if you do that, you'll be very, very happy. Let me give a shout out to the Barberhood in Laguna Hills. They opened their doors back up today. And as always, I wish all of our local businesses nothing but success. If you guys have any questions, I want you to reach out to me. Go to streaming.lawyer. And I hope most of you know I'm here for you. And all you need to do is reach out. This topic came up yesterday, and I just wanted to jump on and share a couple of things just to recap. Check and make sure you've got business liability insurance. And if you do, that you're covered for a coronavirus infection claim. Just check with your agent, and he or she can tell you what you need to do to get covered. Number two, complete requirements for your state, for your occupation, and also federal requirements. And this includes distancing, this includes washing your hands, this includes face mask, whatever the requirements are as a business owner. Before opening up your door, make sure you understand what you should be doing, and then intelligently use liability releases, waivers, and hold harmless agreements to maximize the chances of you not ending up at the wrong end of a claim or lawsuit. Or if you do, it maximizes your chances of coming out unscratched, unscathed, and still smiling and enjoying doing business. So let me look over here at the questions. Yeah, I think I covered a lot of these questions, you guys, and we've got people joining us from all over the world. I mean, literally. So it's good to see everybody. If you guys have any follow-up questions, just reach out or check with an attorney in your state, and why don't we just leave it at that? Okay, so it is Friday. I am going to get back and take care of some paperwork. But listen, you guys, between now and my next live video, and I'll be live all next week, I hope you guys know that I'm here for you. We're all in this together. There is light at the end of the table. I think it's really important that we be proactive. Okay, let's be proactive and keep pushing forward. And between now and next week, you guys, keep helping as many people as you can and never stop doing your best to try to make each day a masterpiece. All right, you guys, gotta go. Bye-bye.